Today, I want to talk about my very, you know, weird, crazy way of eating. And so, the way that I eat is completely different than the way my clients eat, to get that clear. I don't preach, fasting or eating late or eating this or that or however many meals. It's all about your own preferences. So, I want to start by saying that. And so, I want to get into my way of eating because I don't actually talk about it, but I do have a very crazy, unorthodox way of eating. So I actually fast majority of my day. So I'll be up anywhere from, it just depends on the day, but usually I'm up kind of late morning, right? So like 9, 10, 11, sometimes even noon if I stay up really late working on stuff. And I won't eat until at the earliest, like 10 p.m. But most of the time I'm eating at like 10, 11, sometimes even midnight. That's my first meal. So I won't have any calories. I'll eat, or I'll have nothing but liquids. I'll have caffeine. Um, or I guess, yeah, technically, I'll have calories if, the caffeine has it or whatever I'm drinking, but most time it's very, very minimal. And so I won't eat any food is the point until very late. And so I know you might be thinking like, what? Like, isn't that bad for you? And so that's actually been debunked. That's my whole thing, right? I've always ate relatively late after I got into this whole fitness journey and started, finding out what worked for me. The thing is that my schedule is very flexible, but it's very active. So I'm either boxing, working out, I'm training clients, I'm making content, I'm moving, so I like to get liquids in. I don't like to eat, multiple meals. I'm not a snacker. I like to eat a lot in one sitting or else I feel lethargic. And so I don't talk about the way I eat a lot because it's just very unorthodox and I know some people wouldn't relate to it, but it does open up a lot of eyes because I do eat junk food, sometimes weekly, sometimes daily, just depends. I do eat late at night. I do eat a lot of protein in one sitting. I'll hit my protein goal still. Like I'll hit 150 plus grams a day and I'll fit that in, late. And so a lot of people think, oh, can't you, or aren't you not able to eat 50 grams of protein in one sitting? And so that's a myth. You are 100% able to eat more than that. Most steaks are going to be 90 to 100 grams. Like, where do you think the rest of those protein grams go? Do you think they just disappear? That's not how it works. And so you can eat late, you can eat one meal, you can eat 6 meals, you can eat 150 grams of protein, you can eat 10 meals spread out with protein. It really just depends on you. And, I was talking to one of my clients and he was saying how he likes to have like two protein drinks, drink liquids, and then he'll have his first bigger meal in the evening. Kind of similar to me, except I don't have like protein drinks or anything like that in the day. So he said he'll get like 60 grams of protein from the drinks, and then he'll have, 30 to 50 gram protein meal. And then he'll usually end the night with like, a little protein snack or something that's kind of low calorie but fits his cravings. And so that's a little similar to me. But the way I eat is I make sure that um, I eat a lot of protein one sitting. So I try to hit my protein goal first. Then I see, okay, how much calories do I got left? And I'll kind of look at my steps because this is an advanced method. But once you're, really getting deep into dieting, you can kind of manipulate what calories you want to eat for the day based on your activity. So like for today, I got 12K steps. That's about 500 to 700 calories, leaning more towards probably about 700 calories burned. And so I can take that in consideration on top of my calorie deficit because usually I maintain around 175 pounds, but at the moment I'm actually at a fight camp and I'm around like 185, 184 ish. So I'm trying to slowly cut down to about 175. That's where I like to be around. And so I'm in a slight deficit, nothing too crazy. And so I like to my protein goal. I'll have calories left over and I'll end the night with something that can fix my cravings. So I always have a sweet tooth. So if there's a bag of cookies that's 150 calories or 300 calories, I'll waste it on that. Or, maybe I'll have a bag of chips. Last night I actually had like some high chews. I had a bunch of high chews. And yeah, I'm still aware of my calories. I still know what I'm eating. And the fact that I'm hitting my protein goal, I'm still eating relatively healthy most of the time. I end up getting great results and it's more sustainable than a method of like cutting everything out like I used to do. You know what I mean? And so that is my very weird way of eating, and I don't recommend it. You never really see me ever talk about fasting. And that's because it's complete preference, you know. I had a client who ate all of his calories at noon, right at 12 p.m. because of his work. He was, started work very early, and he was sitting, at his job, and so he was very hungry in the middle of the day, and that's what worked for him, and so he did that. Some people I've known have done 4 meals and crushed it. Me, I like to do 1 or 2 big meals, and I like to be really, really full, and then I'll kind of kill that sweet tooth, or whatever it is. And sometimes it's healthy, a little craving, sometimes it's a little unhealthy. It doesn't really matter, it just depends on what I got going on. But I like to switch it up as far as that. And then usually I'll keep my meals pretty consistent, so I'll stick to something like, recently I've been eating this spicy little breaded chicken. I put in the air fryer. I'll put about 150 to 200 grams um, of chicken, and it'll come out to about anywhere from 30 to 50 grams of protein. And so I'll do that, and sometimes I'll combo with a bagel that has 10 grams of protein, get even extra, do a sandwich with it. But usually I have these core meals that I usually like to eat, and then once I get kind of bored of them or sick of them, I'll switch to something else that is similar in calories, similar in protein. And so that is my weird way of eating. I just want to share that with you guys, and it does shed light on a lot of myths that you probably believed in the past, especially if you're older. I know a lot of people, still tell me like, oh, it's because your age, and just wait till you get older. But, all my clients are anywhere from 30 to all the way to 50 years old. So, they all do the same thing as me. Some eat healthier than others, some eat later than others. But the whole point is that, it has nothing to do with age or metabolism or anything crazy like that. It's all about preferences as far as meal timing and how many meals you want. But as far as eating late, eating junk food, eating a lot of protein when sitting, all of it is completely fine as long as you are fitting your calories in, hitting your protein goal, getting your steps in, working out, and eventually getting down to your goal body weight. So that's it for today's video. I just want to share my weird and crazy way of eating.